You know it's all about DTFC.
Dallas Trinity FC fans, welcome back to another episode of the official Dallas Trinity FC podcast, Up the River. I am your host, Savannah Hummler, and on today's episode, Dory Ariza, Charlie Neal, and I will be sitting down with our brand new head coach, Nathan Thackeray. We're so excited to talk to him and learn about his coaching style and what he foresees for the upcoming spring season. All coming up right here on this next episode of Dallas Trinity Up the River. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Dallas Trinity Up the River, the official podcast for Dallas Trinity FC. And we're here with our brand new head coach, Nathan Thackeray. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me in. And this is my first, I've done some podcasts, but I've never done one in like a podcast room like this. So I'm expecting loads of clicks.
Are you nervous?
I kind of am now. You've started, yeah. I was okay before.
Well, he already said he didn't like the sound of his voice.
Yeah. It was echoing back in the back of my mind. No wonder my wife's so sharp with me, right?
We'll make it nice and easy on you. But Nathan, how have the past few weeks been for you? Just a whirlwind coming here to Dallas?
It's definitely been a whirlwind, yeah. Roller coaster start. Honestly, everything happened fast, but also not fast enough at the same point. It was like, okay, it's this is happening. All right, okay, if I'm committing to it, I want to get there now. Get me in as quickly as possible. And then there was some delays for different reasons. And then once it was officially signed, I was like, okay. With Becky, the team ops person, I was like, I need a flight at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. There's one that literally leaves at, I think it was 6:15, and my plan was I wanted to try and get to the back end of training. Couldn't make it work, so they'd got a lift session in the afternoon. So I was like, okay, let me go meet them quickly, because tomorrow when we get in the back in the office in the meeting room, it's not hi, nice to meet you. It's we got some work to do. So yeah, although it was maybe a little bit longer than what I wanted, because I wanted to get my feet on the ground quickly. It was also, it's been quick, and the weather didn't help last week. But
did you get your full family out here as well? Everyone's back out here in Dallas?
No, everyone's back in North Carolina. The plan was for me to fly in, fly back, and drive my truck down with my dog. My wife and my children are going to stay in North Carolina until my eldest son finishes school and we can sell the house and they come down. But my first trip was cancelled because of the weather here, and then I was supposed to then go this past weekend after we'd played the Brooklyn game, and then that one got cancelled because they got snow in North Carolina. They ended up with 6 inches of snow. So, yeah, I'm still here. No truck, no dog, no wife and kids, but it's been okay.
You're making it work here in Dallas. What's your first impression of the city of Dallas so far?
The traffic is no joke. I'd lived in Houston for a little while, so I knew traffic was bad in the big cities. And then I got used to 10 years in North Carolina where it was nice and quiet. And then I came in and it was like, woof, there's a lot of traffic. I've not seen enough of the city yet to give a real, true good feeling about what the city of Dallas has to offer. I'm intrigued by so much of it. It's so big, so vast. I already can tell that the food choices are going to be great. I think there's a very diverse food selection that we can go through. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm open to any suggestions. Obviously, I've had my hands in different things in regards to preparing a team over the course of the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, if anyone's got suggestions, I'm all ears for sure.
I feel like Dory will.
Well, yeah, but if you think the traffic's bad now, just wait till the World Cup is here, because that's what I'm afraid of. I can't imagine what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I think maybe I won't be leaving my house at that point. Just stay inside and leave the games on.
We'll have to give you some recs on good food. We have a lot of favorites.
Well, what do you like? What type of food?
I like anything. I'll give anything a try for a first time.
You like Tex-Mex?
Love Tex-Mex, yeah.
You a queso guy?
Yeah, I love queso.
Okay.
There's a lot of
There's a
options
lot.
there.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. Yeah, yeah. Gio told me he's going to take me to like a real authentic Mexican place that he goes to that he loves.
Which one is it?
I don't know. He mentioned the name. I can't remember. He said it turns into like a bit of a nightclub after hours.
Oh.
Once,
That's how you know it's good.
yeah, it's like it goes from restaurant to nightclub real fast. But
Wait,
apparently he
I wanna
goes
know
there.
Wait, we gotta
This
find
is-
out. We gotta have
Yeah,
Gio
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll find out the details on that one. I did a barbecue place last week. Texas barbecue, hands down, better than North Carolina
Yeah.
barbecue. Sorry to all the North Carolina people that might be listening, but yeah,
Which one was it?
I can't even oat something. I don't know. Can't remember the name.
But you can remember the brisket and the ribs.
I
and
can remember what it
yeah.
tasted like as I was finishing it off. Yeah, it was very good. Yeah.
It's funny because one of our fans wrote in some questions for today, and we'll get to that later. But one of the questions for you was Carolina or Texas barbecue. So now we have that one
That's
all
settled.
figured out.
Hands down. I'll tell you the first time I had North Carolina barbecue. I'd been there a few weeks, and one of the old assistants that was at the Courage was like, "Hey, I'm going to go grab some lunch. You want to come with me?" And I was like, "Where you going?" He's like, "Oh, there's a barbecue joint just down the road." And it was like an old hut. It's been there for years and years. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that place has got to be unbelievable." I started eating it, and I was like, "What's wrong with it? If it's not cooked properly, or the meat's off, or something." He's like, "No, it's vinegar-based." And I said, "Vinegar-based? I've never had barbecue that's any other way than what I'd had it in Houston and what I've had it here."
Right.
So when I started to eat vinegar-based, I was like, this is not for me. And I've not had barbecue in North Carolina since that day because I couldn't even finish it. So yeah, every time that I come back to Texas, it's one of the first food stops for sure.
We'll definitely get you a list of some good Texas barbecue. They'll get the Tex-Mex going. So we'll have some suggestions for you. Don't you worry.
I love it.
For all of the fans who are wanting to get to know you as a coach, can you just tell us about your coaching philosophy and your style of coaching?
Yeah, I think everything that I've done so far, and obviously I'll be very open. My experience as a head coach is over a very small window, very small sample size. So I'd like to think that it's going to continue to evolve the more I start to understand what it is that I'm really looking for. What I know right now is that my game model or my game plan is deeply rooted in how do we score goals. And that part didn't reflect maybe off the Brooklyn game because we didn't create many chances, but it's going to take time. But everything is going to be around how do we score goals ourselves? How do we become the most creative team in the league? How do we make it so it's consistent that we're trying to get into the same spaces or the same areas to try and score the goals? And then on the opposite side of it, how do we prevent it? We want to prevent it as high up the field as we possibly can. So can we become a really high pressing team? That would lead to then if we win the ball back, we're closer to their goal. Also comes back again to how do we score goals? But I want to be entertaining. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be really high demanding. And we'll get there. We won't fix it in 2 weeks. It'll take longer than that. I think the players will grow and learn every step of the way, but it'll take a little bit of time. I'm not naive enough to know that it's not going to. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say.
As far as the depth of this roster goes, what do you see in the current players and just coming off of the season that they had last year, and then you have new players this year, and you even just added 3 new ones to the roster? What do you feel as far as the depth of this team has when you're wanting to go for more scoring opportunities?
Sure. I think, first of all, Chris Petruccelli's done a good job in building a roster that's competitive. I think he's done a really good job in regards to the sort of mid-season break. Those acquisitions, I think, have come in and helped straight away, and the fact that they all played 90 minutes this past week and played well suggests that they're the right fit for the team. So just bringing in good people and good players immediately makes the roster even deeper. And you want a competitive roster. You want the bottom of the roster to be competing like they are the top of the roster, because that essentially makes everybody better. So that's exciting for me, that the fact that we're able to do that. There are still areas that we've got to continue to grow in. We've just added, obviously, Bethany Boss. It was announced today. She had a first training session with us today. That's a huge pickup for us. She's had a fantastic career in the NWSL. Out of relatively nothing. You know, she's unheard of when she came out of NAIA and then went to Seattle when it was Rookie of the Year, and I think maybe she got double digits in her rookie year in regards to scoring. So she's going to be a fantastic addition to what we've already got. We know we've got Ali who can score goals as well. We tried to do something a little bit different this past weekend to try and create other people opportunities to score goals. So we'll see. But how do I see the roster? I see it. There's huge growth potential. Huge growth potential. Whether it's from how they apply themselves to the ideas that we're giving them, or whether it's just how they compete. I think either way, this roster can really push the boundaries and be pretty special. And
how did that first practice go with Bethany?
Great. She was excellent. We did quite a lot of stuff going to goal. You can immediately see that she's probably thinking one step ahead, and she's constantly moving across the line, which is good. She's wanting to try find gaps where she can receive the ball and try and score. So I think when people start to pick it up, like a Lexi, like a Yenny, those players that are really creative in the next line, once they start to see that, they can start to execute. And I think she's going to be a real handful for a lot of the league for sure.
That's exciting for us to hear.
You know, I think, and I was going to say, I think it's going to be exciting for our fans to hear. I mean, our supporters are probably grinning right now. You know, the Unstabled and the Dallas Beer Guardians, they made signs for the Doomsday offense last year, and you know, the theme of the club this year is Run River Run, and Dallas gets it done. You know, this city loves winners, it loves offense, it loves flash, and I think you know, scoring goals encapsulates all those things, right? And you know, I like you said, I think we're excited about the roster construct, and really eager to see how you kind of put all the chess pieces on the board and make it happen.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it done. That's the plan. Just to try and get everything flowing in the same direction would be a major success for us if we can create alignment of ideas. And I talk to them all the time about collective intention. What is the collective intention of the group, of certain positions, of certain units? And if our collective intention is that we're going to try and play this way, that for me is success, if we can start to build in that direction. So yeah, I have no questions about if we can get it done. It's just when it starts to happen that will be the big part. So
for all of the fans that really want to get to know you and your love for soccer and the game itself, can you just talk about where your passion came from? You know, when you were a kid playing out there, or just where was your kind of journey in this sport? Yeah, gosh, it's going back a lot of years now. I actually come from a rugby family. My grandfather and his brothers and sisters and uncles, not sisters at the point, but brothers, and a lot of my uncles were all rugby players. I think I was actually the first soccer player that out of all of them. And looking at me now, you'd probably go, no, that guy would be a great second row or a prop forward or whatever because of the size. But it was my mum, actually. My dad was away for work, and my mum was like, I'm not taking him to rugby. It's too aggressive. It's too mean. He's going to get hurt. I'll take him to soccer instead. And I went to soccer, little junior club. It was called Hayside. And there was a coach there, and he installed a lot of passion, a lot of love for the game. He was as mad as they come, but he had a group of kids that absolutely loved going to training. And this would be as a 10-year-old when I first really started. And from there, I was fortunate enough, I'd barely been playing for a year, and then I got brought into a professional club into their academy system as a goalkeeper. Actually, the first team head coach, he used to be a Man United player back in the day, I went to school with his son, and he saw me play on a pitch.
Which player?
His name was Andy Ritchie. So he played for Man United for a number of years. He played for Oldham Athletic was the team, and they're the lower league team now, but back in the day they were in the Premier League, and they were actually the only Premier League team that had artificial turf pitch. So if you look them up, they're pretty famous. It's also the most northern stadium in the UK, which is pretty cool too. Very cold.
Yeah.
Very cold. I think that's accurate. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Either that or it's the
Our
coldest
fans will
stadium.
fact check you on that. Yeah.
Someone fact check me, let me know. I'm sure I'm probably not right. So it started there. Andy Ritchie then called his academy director, I think at the time, and was like, "You got to look at this kid. He's he's done well from what I've seen, and then they brought me in, and I was in the club from an early onset. I'd be 10 or 11 at the time, so I barely just started playing, and me and my dad would go to all the first team games. We get free tickets, and we'd go and watch. And
so you converted your dad.
Converted my dad, yeah, for sure. And so we would go every weekend, watch the first team play, and it was enjoyable. And I became a big Man United fan as well, which is a big part of why I bleed red. So yeah, it's been installed since I was a kid, very early doors, to be honest. And then it's continued through there, whether it's been through as a fan or through my playing career. Which wasn't a very long playing career, I'll admit to that, but whilst I did it, I enjoyed it. It brought me over to the United States, which I never thought was going to be a thing. I didn't know anything about the United States. I ended up in Missouri. I'd never heard of Missouri, ever, and I ended up there for my first few years. Bounced back and forth to the UK and back just to continue to play, and then it eventually said, you know what, I think I'm done with the playing part, but I've got enough passion that I want to continue to be involved in the game. So coaching was the next best thing, and I started that pathway. And I've been honestly really fortunate with the people that I've connected with and met. And I think I've got good qualities to add to the coaching world and to clubs. But I've been really fortunate to meet some amazing people that have continued to install that passion and continue to educate me and try and develop me as a coach. And that leads me to sitting here with you guys today. So, yeah.
When you first moved to the U.S., what was your impression of the soccer system in place already here?
I couldn't understand it, to be honest. It was completely different to what I was used to. And coming over as a collegiate athlete at first, I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be playing soccer. Why do I need to go to school? Like I'd been playing in England. I'd been in full-time football at the professional level for 3 years, and it was like, okay, I don't.
So did you get recruited to come over here, and they never told you once you were going to have to go to class?
No, they did tell me, but they weren't recruiting me for that part. They were, we practice every morning, and we practice in the afternoon. You got the gym sessions and this and that, and
you'll have to go to class, but don't worry about that.
Yeah. And there is something called books, and yeah. And it was a shock to the system for sure when I was having to do 3 or 4 classes a day, and then I was like, wow, what's going on here? And now there's tests and there's homework, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to end really quickly for me. But yeah, I managed to dig in and stick it out. So it was a surprise. It was a shock to the system. And even post collegiate career, it still was, and I think I've been fortunate to be in a period that I've been in the US where soccer has been constantly growing, which is amazing. If I think about when I first came over, and maybe there was one channel that would show Premier League games, and now they're everywhere and it's on streaming devices, and it's amazing. And everywhere you go, people are playing, kids are playing. I come from my son plays for one of the biggest in the country, the youth clubs in the country, and there's 15,000 kids that are playing out of one club. And I'm like, this is soccer in this country is it's a machine, right? And really, I think the biggest part is that it has to get, how do they align it all to make sure that everyone's trying to do the same thing in regards to development of the player, and then we produce a really good team at the end of it. I think there's some work to do there, but that's for other people to do. But yeah, it's a massive project, but it's great to see because it's such a growing sport. And Dory mentioned the World Cup, and I would hate to think where this place, what happens when the World Cup comes to town, because it will just be the fanfare for soccer in this country is going to explode.
I'm curious, Nathan, knowing that you have a son who's a soccer stud, have you looked into like the youth clubs here and at all? I know it's premature because he's not going to be here for a bit, but I am curious, like if you sort of dabble, because it is quite a big deal in our backyard.
Yeah, it's a hotbed for youth soccer here. I have not looked into it yet. I'm hoping that I'll get some guidance from some people along the way. He's only 11, so I still want him to just have fun. He's ultra competitive though. He's very much like myself. So I have not looked into it yet. again, if anybody's got any advice or they've had good experiences, I'm all ears. I don't like the idea of paying the fees, so if anybody wants to throw out a free soccer stuff for my son, that'd be great. Perfect.
Well, so many of the players too that are on our team have played locally as well too. So you've got
there's a number, right? And even still, if you look at Caroline Swan still is part of Solar, and and she's with us every day. So yeah.
Yep.
And I know a few of the directors or coaches in the area as well from years and years ago. So I'm sure we'll figure it out quickly.
Yeah.
You spent 8 seasons, obviously, with North Carolina.
9 seasons.
9 seasons.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
Obviously, one of the most successful clubs in the NWSL. What was that experience like for you being there?
It was amazing. I loved every season that I was with the club, and the nicest part for me is that my growth throughout that time was it wasn't just reflective of me personally, but of what I learned and what that club did over the course of those 9 seasons was phenomenal. I've worked with some really good people that were at the club and some phenomenal players. I mean, at one point, I'm convinced that in sort of 17, 18, 19, we had the best team in the world. There was nobody even close to us. I think we had almost the best player in every position in the world as well, and that's not a big statement. That for me is, I'm absolutely convinced of it, and won a lot of trophies, which is special. Spent a lot of time with a really good club. I think I was I was the longest serving coach at a singular club, and I was the second longest serving coach in the NWSL by the time that I left, because Laura Harvey had a break with the national team and stuff like that. So there was only one other coach that had been in it longer. So I'm super fortunate to be part of it. It's a good club. I loved every season that I was there, and to be able to lead that team out at the end of it as the interim head coach was a moment I'll never forget, because it just filled me with so much pride. Yeah.
Do you have anything, Charlie?
Speak up. Don't put him on the spot or anything.
Well, I'm still. I don't know if I should be stewing about his veiled prediction for the 2026 prospects for the men's national team here. He was talking about one day the alignment will be in a place where the team will perform, but England's coming to the Dallas area for their match against Croatia. What are we thinking prospects are for your Brits this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, I looked up some tickets the other day to see how much they were going to cost, and it sounds like I'm going to be watching it from my sofa, because the tickets were outrageous. I was like, hopefully I get well connected before they end up here and somebody can sort me out with some tickets, because I was blown away by the cost of them. Do I think I think they're going to have a great tournament. I think they've got every chance of winning it, to be honest. I think they've got a really, really good team. I think they have an exceptional coach, which would be strange for a German coach to win the World Cup with England. But phenomenal coach, phenomenal players. I think they've got one of the best forwards in the world in Harry Kane, who's been scoring for fun at Bayern Munich. So I think they've got a chance. I really do. There's some other good teams. I think Spain will be good, as they always are. I would predict that the Argentinians will be there to defend their World Championship. And yeah, I don't know who's going to win it. I hope it's England. I think the US, I think they'll have a good tournament. I think they're a ways away from competing for any major championship, to be honest, unfortunately. Sorry.
That's why we're in the women's game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just collecting trophies on that side, yeah.
Okay, we have some questions that some of our fans submitted, so we'd love to get to a couple of these. Who is your all-time favorite keeper?
Oh man, this could go on for a while. I have a couple that I absolutely loved. Peter Schmeichel was a goalkeeper that played for Manchester United, big Danish guy. I mean, huge guy, massive presence. I actually modelled my youth career off of what he was like as a goalkeeper. Eccentric, explosive, made loads of saves. But I failed in that mission to try and replicate him. It wasn't quite the same. And then as I got older, there was a goalkeeper called Edwin van der Sar, a Dutch goalkeeper. He also played for Man United, but he played for a number of teams as well. And he was, for me, as the modern goalkeeper came through, he was at the back end of his career, because when he played for Man United, he was turning 40 at the back end of 30 and played till he was 43, I think. And he was exceptional, like just different to anything that I'd ever seen from a goalkeeper standpoint. So those two in my history are my two favourites. If you ask me right now who I like, there's a few. I thought I liked Thibaut Courtois at Real Madrid. Very good, very, very good. I like Donnarumma at Man City, unfortunately. It pains me to say it, but Donnarumma's also a high-level goalkeeper. And the fact that he's only 26 is mind-blowing to me, because I'm not holding on to my hair very well, but I made it past 26 with a full head of hair. He's got none, and yeah.
Poor guy.
But he gets to play for Man City and earns millions and millions of dollars every year. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Our producer Travis smirked over here when you said that one.
The last one?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Courtois, honestly, but I'm a Chelsea fan, so there's
there's a connection there. Chelsea don't have any good goalkeepers. That's all that matters there.
All right, so when it comes to your coaching style, one of the questions the fans submitted, what has influenced you in your coaching style and team tactics the most?
Probably the people that I work with over the years have influenced it a lot. There's one person that I think particularly who I think I mentioned him when I met with all the front office staff a couple of weeks ago. And we've worked together for a number of years, and his influence on me as a coach has been the sort of the biggest standpoint as far as I'm concerned. He's very knowledgeable, gives great information, thinks logically, relates everything back to the game, and I think that's a lot of stuff that I've thought about has come through him. There's been other pieces from other coaches along the way as well, but I think I've worked with him for a number of years. I think the last 15 years, we've probably spent 13 of them together. He's followed me up from Houston to North Carolina and then to the Courage. So we worked together a lot, and I lent on him for a lot of stuff, which was helpful for me.
I'm actually curious myself, where were you at when you got the call from Dallas Trinity FC?
I was at home. And it was December 23rd, I believe, right? I think so.
Right around there, yeah.
December 23rd, and I got a call from my agent first, and he said, Dallas would like to speak to you. Chris wants to call. He's like, are you interested? Yeah, sure, give me a call. And we spoke to each other that maybe an hour later, and we spoke for a long time. And then I think he was the next day, it was Christmas Eve, and he was driving to Florida for his family vacation. And he said he wants to get on a call with the front office or with ownership and upper management. And I was like, okay, no problem. And we got on a call. I think it was me, Charlie, Tripp, and Jim on the call. And that lasted for an hour maybe, and it was a good call. And from there, I came in. Everyone was going their separate ways for the holidays, and I think January 5th I flew in. And spent a couple of days, actually it was maybe less than 24 hours down here, and got shown around quickly, went to dinner, had a few discussions about things, and I think a few days later I'd told Chris that if they wanted me I was available. So yeah, it happened fast. But I think I don't remember where I was, but when my agent called me, but I was somewhere at home. Yeah.
What was your first impression of the club and meeting everybody when you got to Dallas?
Very welcoming, really welcoming. I said this to the guys when I came down, because obviously I'd spoke to Jim, Tripp, and Charlie, and on a Zoom call, and everything that they spoke around revolved around family, and the most important thing to me outside of Man United is my family. So. It made sense that they run the business the way they do, that it is a family business, that they're all focused on each other and how they all get better together. So that resonated with me a lot. So that was my first impression. It's a pretty tight-knit group that all support each other. So, yeah, it was good.
And then your first game, what was your experience like at the Cotton Bowl, just seeing that venue as a whole?
Amazing stadium. It really is amazing stadium. It's got so much history, right? And you feel like you're walking into history. It's massive, and you look around. I'm like, geez, this is a huge stadium. No, I was excited. I went out there a little bit earlier. Spent some time on the field on my own just to take it all in for that moment, because I'll never get that moment again where it's the first time as a real head coach, not an interim head coach, but the first time that I'm preparing for it in that role. I'll never get that experience again. So I took some time to really embrace it and think about it. And no, it was exciting. There was not too much nervousness, maybe a little apprehension, but no, I felt comfortable, felt settled. It's a cool stadium, so it was exciting.
What was the Nathan pep talk for that game as your role as head coach on the first
secrets.
game? But like, how do you motivate the players, or what's like the secret sauce you want to instill?
Yeah, well, I actually spoke about the word Trinity and what it means and what it stands for, and I tried to have the team understand that what does it mean. And they said, well, it means there's three of something. I was like, well, yes, there's three of something. That's the tripart, but the Trinity piece is that if there's three things which are all of equal power, but together they become something that is sort of unbreakable, or a bond, or something with extreme power that's more than the singular. So I referred to that, and I asked them to think about what they want their Trinity to be and how they want it to apply the game plan through the Trinity, and it has to become theirs. I questioned them. I gave them three, and mine was the three E's that I go back to quite a lot is energy, effort, and execution. And if that's the Trinity that you're going to play with, then we'll be fine, no matter what the circumstances are. So that was what I threw at them in a bit more of a motivating way than what I've just given it to you guys. But that was the basis of the team talk. It came back to the words that are written on their shirt and what this club represents. I think the word Trinity is a special word, and the way and how you use it can be really powerful as well. So I gave it my best shot with that one.
And now it's almost full speed ahead from here. Lots of games coming up. How do you kind of adjust while you're still settling here into Dallas, and then you have to hop onto the road for a little bit? What's that adjustment like for you? You know,
it'll be fine for me. I've spent the last 9 seasons on the road, bouncing around, going here, there, and everywhere, so I'm used to it. Four away games in a row is tough. I think any time that you any sport in the US, any away game is difficult because the travel is so rigorous. We'll manage it with each moment that comes. We'll prepare the team in the best way that we possibly can. In our efforts to not get too high and not get too low, we will continue to move forward together. That's the way we'll approach it. My job is to just make sure these guys are ready. I think it's helpful that I'm here on my own, so that I have nothing else to think about other than this, and making sure that we're trying to get things done the right way. But no, I'm excited for it. I think a run of fixtures is better than a run of no fixtures, because training can become really monotonous if you don't have anything to compete for at the end of the week.
Our last fan question for you. This one's a fun one. Whataburger or In-N-Out? Have you had Whataburger yet?
Have I had Whataburger yet?
I just had to check.
Are you kidding me? I haven't had it since I moved back here, but obviously in Houston I had it a number of times. They're actually building one in North Carolina, and I've ended up leaving there before it's been finished. Yeah. We would have this discussion with the previous staff that I was with all the time, because there's another guy there he was from Dallas, but he's worked for the Courage for a number of years, and he's in the front office. And he would travel with us, and we had the performance coach who was in and out. I was Whataburger. The other guy from Dallas was Whataburger. There was a few other people that every trip that we went on where there was any sight of Whataburger or In-N-Out, we would go as a staff to eat, usually after the game, and this topic came up all the time. And it was honestly, it's probably the thing we spoke about the most.
That is so funny. Someone must have written that. Specifically,
yeah. It's probably if that's Mike Young, then yeah, I know it is. And Mike, the answer's Whataburger, not In-N-Out.
What's your order? What's your Whataburger order?
I don't know. I think I just get the number one, maybe the single thing with spicy ketchup. Yeah, I don't even know what the order is. Just give me that. I'll eat that. No problem. The best fries too. by the way.
I don't get the Whataburger. We have an uncle who's obsessed with Whataburger, and then once he started living near a Whataburger, he became less obsessed with Whataburger.
Yeah, and maybe it's the nostalgia.
Maybe it's the
Yeah. And there are other available burger stores.
If Whataburger is listening right now, though, we love Whataburger. And would love Whataburger to collab with Nathan.
Yeah. No, I don't need that collab. Trust me, I don't need that collab. Yeah. No.
We'll make sure Whataburger will be your post game meal at some point.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Maybe once a
We'll
season.
get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
With your maroon blazer.
Yeah.
Whataburger.
That'd look like a great fit, right? Orange and white stripes under a fashion.
Dory, Charlie, do you guys have anything else for Nathan today?
Predictions on final score this weekend. And then by the time this goes live, we'll know if you were right or not.
I don't. Dory put me on the spot. I don't like doing that. I predict that we will be extremely competitive, and we will do everything that we can to get a positive result.
That's such a PR response.
Correct.
But I get
Great
it.
answer.
Charlie?
Which market are you most excited to see? Go visit.
I'm actually excited for a lot of them because there's a lot that's brand new. You know, you spend 9 seasons going to the same markets.
Right.
Now these are completely different markets. Obviously, I've spent time in Charlotte. I've spent time at Fort Lauderdale. We actually did pre-season there last year at their facility. I've never been to Spokane.
Yeah.
You said it right.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
done.
I don't want to get cancelled for saying Spokane, but so Spokane I've never been, so I'm intrigued to see what it's like. I haven't heard good or bad things, so I don't know, but it's a place that I've never been to before, so that'll be a good one. I'm trying to think where else I've not been. Yeah, I would probably say that's the place that that intrigues me the most,
Yeah.
just because I've never been before. Yeah.
Well, we'll take it back home because in March, I believe March, and fact checked, right? Our fans will be all over us. We have a Pups at the Pitch match coming up. You said you have a dog back home.
Yeah.
Dog's name, breed.
Bogle. He's an American Foxhound mixed with something else. We don't know what he's mixed with, but he's definitely an American Foxhound because he howls at the moon sometimes. He's only a puppy. He's only 9 months old. We actually had a dog for so I've been here for 20 years, and after 2 years we got she was 1 year old at the time when we got her. And we had her for another 18 years after that. So she was 19 years old. She passed away in July. And my wife was like, no more dogs. I'm not going through that again. No way. That's the worst thing I've ever been through. We can't find anyone better than her. I lasted 4 weeks, and then I brought a dog home. And I used my eldest son as the reason why, because he kept saying, I want another dog. I want another dog. So we ended up with Bogle. And we call him Bo for short, and he's been such a great addition to the family. He's got so much energy and personality as a dog. He actually started doggy daycare last week because my wife's still working, so we felt bad having the same person come and let him out every day. So he started doggy daycare. She told me we're going for 3 days a week. It's $95. It's 3 days a week. We'll figure out the other 2 days. I don't want to spend too much time or expenditure on doggy daycare. And then she comes home. She said she picked him up, and I was like, "How do you do?" She said he said he had such a great time, so I signed him up for the unlimited package, which was double the price of the 3 days a week. I was like, "Oh my God!"
That marketing tactic.
Come
there.
on, yeah. He said he had a great time. So he's ended up there. He's doing doggy daycare 5 days a week, which is good for him. He had a blast.
Well, we're looking forward to meeting Bo.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be.
You've got quite a couple or number of players under you who are dog crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how he gets integrated in there.
Yeah. He was actually on my first presentation when we sat with the team for the first day. I had my dog and my cat, and they were both up there. So the cat had just a little photo, and the dog had the big. the big one.
Cute. Well, if Bogle is not out here for Pups on the Pitch, we'll put him on the video board.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll be at home wrapped in a jersey for sure. He'll be at home in a jersey.
Well, Nathan, thank you so much for being with us today and letting the fans get to know who you are. And welcome to Dallas, officially, our brand new head coach for Dallas Trinity FC. And we will be right back after this next break. Dallas Trinity FC fans, we have a very exciting few months in store for all of the fans. Lots of games coming up for this spring season, but some really big news. The first ever match on KFAA on broadcast and WFAA Plus streaming will now feature Dallas Trinity FC. So you can view some of those games either on their broadcast channels or their streaming services. It's broadcast locally here in Dallas. They're also home of the Dallas Mavericks, the Dallas Wings, and the Texas Legends. But don't worry, you can still stream on NBC Peacock. But now, if you are here locally in Dallas, you can also watch the games on KFAA or on WFAA Plus streaming. And you can watch that first game Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Dallas Trinity FC will be playing Lexington SC. It's a 1 o'clock kick, and you can watch it locally right here in Dallas. And we're very excited, though that news will be released here this week. And also our next home match. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be February 28th. Dallas Trinity FC is going to welcome NWSL Houston Dash. It's going to be the I-45 showdown. You do not want to miss it. This is a very highly anticipated matchup between the two Texas clubs. You got Houston, you got Dallas coming in. It doesn't get better than that. You can go to DallasTrinityFC.com/tickets. Go in, sign up, fill out your information so you can get information on how you can receive tickets. It's going to be an insane matchup right here at the Cotton Bowl. A very fun game on March 18th. Pups at the pitch. We encourage you to bring your pup. We're going to have a great day. I'm going to bring my dog. You guys need to bring your dogs. It's going to be so much fun. You can also get a collapsible dog bowl for your dog, courtesy of Dallas Trinity FC. So those are some upcoming things that we have here. And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode today with our brand new head coach, Nathan Thackeray. And we will be back shortly with another episode of Dallas Trinity Up the River.
It's all about D.